Licensing technology out of a university on terms which are acceptable to the company and on terms which are acceptable to the investors who are backing the proposition is hugely tricky. It can become protracted and it can delay the investment process. Having secured the intellectual property, it's then necessary to present a business plan to potential investors so that they end up at a point where they understand the risk, where they understand the market, where they trust that the founding team can deliver the business proposition, and where they trust and believe in the value of the intellectual property that's licensed from the university.
Basically work our way through the thought processes of how we could actually achieve this as a feasible piece of technology and a feasible idea that would satisfy everyone through the whole product spectrum, from the universities and the IP generators through to the companies and through to the investors, through to the customers, so that the value is shared by all.
From the point of view of any company which is building value around intellectual property, what we find is that our technology platform has untapped potential, and we don't have the resources. Often no company will have the resources to follow every potential opportunity that presents itself. This illustrates the types of companies and relationships that can benefit from the application of our toolkit. That company one represents, for instance, I2I, any SME with intellectual property to exploit. And then we look downstream, our open innovation partners. It's third parties who are wishing to conduct research, who are wishing to collaborate with us in order to develop our technology into niche applications of their own. And our Open Innovation Toolkit defines these downstream relationships. The Open Innovation Toolkit has to also take into account all of the interests upstream of the company. So for instance, in our case, we have exclusive licenses with 3 universities. We have OEM supply arrangements with suppliers of key components that go into our instruments, and those in some cases have restricted fields of application. We also have investors who have invested, supported the company in order to exploit the university IP, and their interests, the subscription agreements that we have with them. So the Open Innovation Toolkit enables us to define relationships downstream while taking into consideration the vested interests upstream. So the technology development flows to the right, which increases the potential value of the intellectual property, as is indicated here by the blue cone. And what we see is that the value flows to the left, so that by exploiting intellectual property in a rightward direction, what we're seeing is a flow of value back to the company and back to the universities, to the originators of the IP, which builds value for us and for our stakeholders, our investors, beyond what we might have been able to do if we were exploiting the intellectual property in a very narrow space.
The main practical benefit is it allows us to move faster in the market, to get into more market niches that for a small company and growing company like ours is really important. We have to concentrate on our core market because we need to bring in revenue. But this way it allows other people to do some of the clinical work on our behalf and actually start looking and investigating, is there a need, clinical need for this, and is there a commercial benefit from doing this? And everyone benefits from using it.
We have presented our open innovation platform as a product. If you look at our website, i2idiagnostics.com, click on I Innovate, it describes the 3-part toolkit. The first is contractual, which sets the framework for the relationship. It transfers liability for the outcome of a research project, and it safeguards the vested interests of those who are upstream of ourselves and the shareholders and investors in the company with whom we have subscription agreements. So our contractual toolkit takes into account all of those vested interests and enables a third party to then develop aspects of our technology into an area of interest to them. Secondly, we have a technical component which is designed to facilitate technical access. In our case, it's risk assessment based. We're looking at protecting our core intellectual property whilst at the same time providing sufficient technical access for our customers to be able to make the changes and make the experimental developments that they require to our technological platform. The third part is a financial toolkit which looks at the business case for the relationship that we're proposing to enter into. It looks at the potential cost to a third-party developer of taking the technology into the area of interest to them. It looks at the potential market size, it looks at the business models, the means to market, and it looks at the viability to us of licensing back any of the outcomes of that project and assisting in the commercialization. So an iInnovate is a gateway to our open innovation collaborative process. It's the beauty of open innovation, the way this toolkit provides for it, is that from a company's point of view it becomes increasingly hands-off, that people can access the innovative version of the instrument and develop their technologies with very little input from the company, other than that we provide the terms and conditions, we provide the technical access, and we provide a potential means to licensing back and commercializing. So this maximize value, minimize risk is the key aspect. Any company with intellectual property that they wish to exploit can benefit from the applications of our toolkit. And it wouldn't have been possible without the support that we have had from the Open Innovation Project, Interreg, Edinburgh City Council, and also John Hughes from Business Gateway, who is a huge supporter of this project.